She will introduce two students who have taken part in presentations at the American Geophysical Union in San Francisco. Thank you very much.
I have two students that will be presenting their research that they'll be also presenting at the American Geophysical Union later this year. Last year, they completed their research after taking the AP exam. When they present at the American Geophysical Union, they'll be presenting in front of scientists from around the world. They first had to submit an abstract and get their research approved. Then they got to run their research project and submit their poster. So first we have Mira.
Woo!
All right. Good evening. My name is Mira and I will be presenting on the effect of the Hayward Corridor Improvement Project on carbon monoxide emission. So, what exactly is the Hayward Corridor Improvement Project? It's a good question. It's one I had when I first started researching. What originally existed in 2009 was three two-way streets that were then sort of converted into one-way streets and looped together in a counterclockwise direction. This was done primarily to improve pedestrian access to the businesses in the Hayward Corridor. There's a movie theater that many of us have probably gone to and lots of shopping. It was also done in hopes of improving traffic flow. So moving on to what we actually wanted to study. So here you can see a chart of the three main intersections studied for carbon monoxide levels in the Hayward Corridor. And those intersections are Foothill and A Street, Foothill and D Street, and Foothill, Jackson, and Mission Boulevard. Many of you probably recognize those names from driving on them yourselves. So, what the creators of the environmental impact report of the project did was in 2007, they took carbon monoxide level recordings and then made projections, both if the project took place and if it did not take place. Now they did two different types of measurements. They did a 1 hour measurement and an 8 hour measurement. And so for the 1 hour measurement, they put out their monitor and then took a continuous average. Unfortunately, we were unable to get access to such equipment, so what we did is we took one measurement every minute for 1 hour. And since we were unable to find any data that's current, that's from 2012 or 2013, we decided to figure out for ourselves if their projections were accurate. So moving on to what we wanted to determine. So we did want to determine the accuracy of the impact report. We also wanted to determine the effect of carbon monoxide levels in that area. And we also wanted to evaluate the safety of current carbon monoxide levels. So let's get on to our hypothesis. So we predicted that due to technological improvements, the carbon monoxide levels would drastically decrease, but that it would not be as low as predicted by the environmental impact report due to certain technological improvements, such as older cars being taken off the road and newer cars being put on the road. So, what we actually did, on June 15th, which was a Wednesday, which is important, between the hours of 4 p.m. and 7 p.m., which is rush hour, as many of you know, we took measurements, the 1 hour measurements, since we weren't too keen on standing out there for 8 hours as the carbon monoxide levels were measured originally. And we took our measurements and then averaged them. So, what we determined was that the carbon monoxide levels did decrease, but not quite as much as predicted. So the projected values were lower than the observed values in the end. So, a little bit of a conclusion. So, according to the environmental impact report, a significant air quality impact would have been one that resulted in a cumulatively considerable net increase of any criteria pollutant for which the project region is non-attainment under an applicable federal or state ambient air quality standard. But that's basically a lot of words saying that If the carbon monoxide level were to break a state or federal law, then it would have been significant by that definition. Now, the 1 hour standard for the state of California is 20 parts per million, and the US standard is 35 parts per million. And if you saw before, all of our measurements were significantly below that. So by that definition, it was just fine. So although the levels were they were higher than the predicted, the current levels are well below the federal and state standards, and for that reason, it's perfectly safe to go to your movie and go shopping in that area, and the project could be considered a success. So thank you very much, and I will hand off.